Hello and bonjour to everybody, and welcome to our very first virtual Take Back the Night. My name is Jade Sullivan, and I'm one of the coordinators at the Women's Resource Center at the University of Ottawa, and we have an amazing schedule packed for you guys tonight. We have everything from live performances, testimonies, calls to action, resource sharing, and even a very great decompression yoga at the end. We have an English and French version available of this video and of the transcripts available on our event Facebook page. And if you have any problems accessing this documentation, please feel free to email us at crf-wrc.coord@uosu-seu.com. Before we start, we'd like to acknowledge that we are living, loving, and learning on unceded and unsurrendered Algonquin-Anishinaabe territory, which consists of the Kinshimpi watershed and the city of Ottawa. The Canadian government made claims to these lands via violent colonization, genocide, and displacement of Indigenous peoples, which has resulted in and continues to result in the marginalization and impoverishment of these peoples and the over-exploitation of their lands. We must actively work together in decolonizing these lands by ensuring our actions, behaviors, and our words are challenging the racist and colonial norms that govern our ways of being. We must pay respect to the Algonquin people as the traditional guardians of these lands, and we must pay respect to all Indigenous people across Turtle Island. Thank you all for listening. We'd also like to inform folks that this event does contain information revolving around sexual and gender-based violence that may be triggering for allies and survivors in the community. If this video is at any point triggering, please take a moment, stop, pause, or even exit if necessary. If you need any support or need somebody to speak to, please feel free to contact us at crf-wrc.coord@uosu-seu.com. For those who don't know, Take Back the Night is an annual event where people come together to rally and protest against sexual and domestic gender-based violence. It is a time for allies and survivors to come together, build connections, reclaim their right to safety, and stand up against sexual and gender-based violence. To open up our night, I'd like to welcome our first performer, Anais Cordeau. Anais is a 19-year-old living in Ottawa who has been singing since she's 2 years old, a lot of which she learned from her father, who she used to sit next to him every night and listen to what he was doing. She grew up listening to jazz, soul, rhythm, and blues, and she sometimes puts music on the internet, on which you can find all her content on all of her social media platforms. Let us welcome Anais.
Hi, I hope you're doing great. So I'm Anna, and today I'm going to be singing a song that I wrote a long time ago called Don't Let the Pain Fill Your Heart. It's actually a conversation with a person going through hard times, where I tell them that I totally understand what they're going through, and that even with pain, everything ends up being alright, even if it takes a lot of time. Because I feel like being understood and heard is the most important step in order to see changes. So I hope you like it, and yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. In your eyes, I can see the sadness beyond your smile. Everything is broken. You don't show your feelings anymore. 'Cause you feel like you're always ignored. And I know it's raining in your heart. And I know that everything fell apart. But please, just tell me how you feel. Don't remove all the flowers of your garden. They're not dead, they just need to be fed. Don't let the pain fill your soul, you should avoid it. Just let the love light up your heart and your spirit. Hey, hey, but please, just tell me how you feel.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that song with us, Anna. It is utterly beautiful. Our next performer is Jade Lavoie. Jade's relationship with spoken word is one of spontaneity. Writing her first poem as a guttural response to surviving a sexual assault, the medium has become a narration of her healing journey and something that she associates with both resilience and reclamation. In her fifth year of studies, Jade is proud of her political legacy, with working towards furthering equity initiatives at the University of Ottawa as the past president of the Conflict Studies and Human Rights Student Association, and also as a UOC Board of Directors representative. Jade spends her spare time reading, painting, and dancing in her room alone to Joanna Newsom. Let us welcome Jade Lavoie.
Baby blue camisole. You silky smooth devil, you are flimsier than the wind, but you make me feel just as strong. And when you slide over my back, over my black short sleeve turtleneck, I feel like I can slice men with my gaze. To see a haze of poisonous gas in the form of drugged drinks and thigh grabs oozing out of their gashed open throats, baby blue camisole. I love that you smell like perfume 10% of the time, but the other 90% you just smell like me, whether that be stale weed or pungent sweat or bed sheets. I can always count on you to be the article overworn, and maybe I just identify with that. You're not even really baby blue, but something about saying it makes you feel more tender, more infantilized to describe how unromantic and impure your history is. You've got a baby blue paint stain. No, this time it really is baby blue. And you remember, too, the time that Emily and I got wasted on a Sunday and painted my bedroom floor? Or was it the time Cassie and I got wasted on a Friday and painted portraits of a man with different colored eyes and lots of freckles? Or was it the time I got wasted on my own and painted one of the castaways in the back of my closet? Sometimes I roll you in my fingers while I'm distracted, or when I wish I was, I'd get traction between my thumb and the fabric and I pinch as hard as I can. I always knew I was a fidgeter. I would rip the receipts into little bitty pieces at the restaurant table. I even got one of those cubes that are supposed to knock it out of my system, but you, baby blue, you always seemed to do the trick. You're covered in flowers, and oh, how ironic that a symbol for spring be paired with a story so growth-stunting? Sure, the days go by like roots growing into the sky, but somehow in my case they've started to curl around my neck. You've got 196 flowers in total. That's 60 for the piece that covers your back, 34 for each piece that covers your sides, and 30 for your sleeves. Do you want to know how I know that? It's because I counted. I counted the night that I wrote this poem because that was the night I decided to know every single detail about you. That was the night I decided to take back what he took from me, which is the feeling like I know who I am anymore. Because when he ripped you off that night, baby blue, he did not know about the baby blue paint stain. He did not know that you could be both heavy and light at the same time, that you were bought from an urban planet for $7 and yet somehow became the most priceless item that I owned. He did not know that you made me feel sexy, but sexy for no one but myself. He did not know that I wore you with cheap tank tops and high socks while I smoked weed in my backyard, and he will never know you because he did not deserve to. And when I look at you in the mirror, baby blue, I don't see the version of you crumpled on a hotel floor, but rather every other time that you've been dirty, clashed with, painted on, tied up, danced in. Every other time that you have been worn, every other time that you made me feel beautiful.
Wow. Thank you so much for that lovely spoken word piece, Jade. It really spoke volumes. And I would like to thank both of our performers for their hard work and dedication to this event. As we move on with Take Back the Night, we would like to look at aspects that we often forget to mention. When we assertively reclaim the right to our safety and courageously stand up against violence, we often neglect how we want to see these forms of transformative change. The Women's Resource Center, along with some of our outstanding community organizations and community members, compile a short list of calls to actions that we'd like to see implemented to promote awareness and to combat sexual and gender-based violence on our campuses, in our communities, and throughout Canada. Firstly, we'd like to call on the student population of the University of Ottawa, all recognized student governances, and all personnel on campus. We would like you, along with all other post-secondary students, to take a pledge with us against sexual and gender-based violence. If you would like to, please repeat after me. I, an existing member of a post-secondary institution, pledge to provide a safer space for survivors and allies to actively build connections, assertively reclaim their right to safety, and courageously stand up against violence whenever I witness it. I pledge to make campus a safer space for all persons and to support all persons in need. I vow to challenge rape culture, to not contribute to spreading posts and content that contributes to sexual violence, and to express my outrage whenever I see it. I pledge to believe and support every person who experiences sexual and gender-based violence. As members of a post-secondary institution and living in communities where post-secondary institutions are present and relevant, we must acknowledge that these institutions have a duty in order to promote and restore and create these safer spaces in and across campuses that prioritize sexual and gender-based violence. So for this, I'm calling on the University of Ottawa and all other existing post-secondary institutions to commit to providing a safer space and a survivor-centered approach when dealing with sexual-based violence, especially in and off of campus. We are asking for fair, equitable, and survivor-centered processes when dealing with sexual violence that are not re-traumatizing for the survivor and prioritizes their mental health and well-being. We're asking for mandatory, in-depth, and up-to-date sexual violence and gender-based violence trainings for all staff and personnel that is inclusive of anti-oppressive and accessibility training. This is meant for protection services, contracted and permanent, administrative staff, professors, researchers, supervisors, and anybody who's employed by the University of Ottawa. We're asking for the university to promote with undue hardship, awareness, and prevention of sexual-based violence on campuses. This is inclusive of explaining different variations of sexual-based violence, updating Policy 67B, having comprehensive discussions with first years and international students, graduates, supervisors, and providing up-to-date, accurate resources for staff and personnel to use as resources whenever in need. Lastly, in solidarity with our Indigenous communities in and around Turtle Island, we request that the Government of Canada create and maintain a coordinated and comprehensive national response to address the scale and scope against missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and Two-Spirited people in Canada. We're asking the Government of Canada to collect useful information in order to address missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and Two-Spirited peoples properly. We make sure it's our duty to protect our Indigenous folk from harm and violence, especially state-led. The Women's Resource Center acknowledges the importance of all of these calls to actions, and we hope they all resonate with you. Before we end the night, we'd like to share with you all of the readily important information that we have present at the WRC for all of our community members. The WRC has a link tree with a bunch of really important information and resources available for everybody right at their fingertips. Our link tree will be in the description of this video and in the transcripts that will be available, but for those who would need it right now, our link tree is as linktr.ee/WRCCRF. If you need any further assistance with this link or any documentation, please feel free to contact us at crf-wrc.coosu-seuo.com. As Take Back the Night is coming to a close, we'd like to thank everybody for all of your support and your dedication. We'd like to thank survivors and allies for their strength and their perseverance. We'd like to thank our community members who help us fight against sexual and gender-based violence every single day for their hard work and their dedication. We appreciate all of you for everything you do. We'd like to thank everybody for coming out to our first virtual Take Back the Night. It was truly amazing. Please keep an eye out for all of our updates and all our events at the Women's Resource Center's Facebook page and Instagram page. As we wrap up this event with a decompression yoga led by Sydney from Yoga Unity, we'd like to thank you guys for everything. As previously mentioned, we have a counselor on call for anybody who would like to speak at crf-wrc.coord@uosu-seuo.com. Thank you, everybody, for everything, and I hope you guys enjoy the decompression.
Hello, my name is Sydney, and I'll be guiding a 30-minute yoga session for the Women's Resource Center of the University of Ottawa. This is live streamed, so what I can say is everything that I say and suggest is merely a suggestion, and to listen to your body first and foremost, to do what is right and get out of this practice what you need. So we'll start with sitting upright in a position of our choosing. I have a pillow here, And I like to cross my legs or fold my legs underneath, but you can cross it in front. Whichever way feels comfortable and right for you today. You can gain a few inches through your sits bones to bring your knees in a relaxed position. Pressing the top of your head like you intend it to the ceiling. From the back of the neck to the back of the room. Tuck your chin in slightly. And I'll invite you to just observe your breath for just a moment. Where it may be landing through the nose, throat, chest, belly button, or low belly. How quick or slow. On every inhale, I invite you to open your attention to the points of contact with the ground or the pillow you are sitting on. And every exhale, I invite you to let go of the thought that has come up. Whether it be about where you were, where you have to be. And every inhale, renewing that attention, points of contact on the ground. The air going in and out of your nose. Through the mouth, the throat, the chest, to low belly. And you can take your right hand and you can place it over your heart center. And your left hand and place it right beneath your belly button. We'll start to intend our exhale to be just a little bit longer than our inhale. We all have different lung sizes, so it may feel or seem different to you than my suggested count. It may resemble something like inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on at your own pace, but adding length to your exhale for about 3 more breaths. I will invite you to switch your hands sides. So your left hand will come to your heart center, and your right hand will come to your low belly. And you can continue on with your breath for about 5 cycles. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. go through your cycles. Again, open your attention to the points of contact with the ground, intending the top of your head to the top of the room, back of the neck to the back of the room, and tucking your chin in slightly. On your next inhale, we'll draw our arms up to the sky. And our exhale, we'll bring them down to heart center in front of us. And then all the way down. On our inhale, we'll bring our arms out and up. And the exhale, slowly bringing the energy down, opening our attention back into the floor. One more time, inhale. And slowly exhale. We'll reverse the arms, inhale. And exhale, fanning the arms out. Inhale, hands to heart center, and then up. And slow exhale, fanning the arms out. One last time. And the next time that we inhale and that we bring our arms up, when we separate our arms, we're going to rotate to our right side. Our left hand will come close to our left knee, our right knee. Inhale, back to center. And we'll rotate to the other side. Other hand comes to other knee. We'll do about 3 times on each side, coordinated with our breath. Nice slow exhales. Inhale, arms up. And rotating to the other side. Slow exhale. Observing how it feels in your shoulders. How do your elbows feel? Forearms and hands. How does your spine feel? Inhale, bring our hands back to center. We'll bring each hand onto our shoulders, just like that. It can just cross over like this as well, or like this. On our inhale, bring our shoulders up to our ears, and on our exhale, like we're squeezing a pencil between our scapula, our shoulders draw back and down on our exhale. We'll do that again. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And draw the shoulders back and down. Rub our arms and our forearms back and forth until we reach back our shoulders. Say on our inhale, come and slide down to our wrist. And on our exhale, we rub our arms back to our shoulders. Do that a few more times, about 3 times. Opening our attention to the sensation in our hands, to the sensation on our arms, and telling ourselves it is ourselves. This is us, this is our body. Bring your hands back to heart center, one over top the other. On your inhale, you can draw your arms out into cactus. And exhale, bring them back to heart center. Inhale, your hands into cactus. Maybe you turn your palms out. And exhale, drawing it back in. Drawing our hands back down. On our inhale, we'll intend our heart center up to the ceiling. Our pelvis tilts forward. You can imagine like a bowl full of water and that you wanted to pull or pour water forward. And then on our exhale, we'll draw the belly button in. Our pelvis tilts back like we want to pour water behind us in the bowl that is our pelvis. And the crown of the head can drop. Inhale, heart lifts, tailbone tucked out. Exhale, tailbone tucked under. Crown of the head drops, belly button intends the spine. Do it 3 more times at our own pace. We'll come back to neutral here. We can bring our pillow to the side. We can keep it handy if we want extra support to our knees, if we have sensitive knees. Another option is to fold our mats over, doubled just about like that. I'll demonstrate that again. So fold it and fold it again so that there's a fold, and that's where your knee goes. You can also fold it over this way. And you can fold it over twice if there's support on one knee that is needed. I'll go for this option too. On your inhale, belly drops, tailbone untucks. Heart intends forward, broaden your collarbones. And exhale, zipping through the spine, tailbone tucks under, crown of the head falls. Inhale, belly drops, broaden your collarbones. And exhale, zipping through the spine. So you can stay positioned in front as you are on your mat. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see a little bit further what I'm doing. What we'll do now is we'll flip our toes underneath, and on our exhale, we'll bring our knees to a hover. So inhale, exhale. Engage the belly button to spine and knees lift off the ground. Inhale, release. Exhale, knees come to hover. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. And you can continue with that. There's also the option of, on our exhale, bringing our weight back over our feet, and on our inhale, snaking forward to a high plank. And on our exhale, hovering our weight back over our feet. If you're with this option, remember to press away from the ground to keep your shoulders engaged and away from your ears. On your next exhale, we hover back, and then hips lift back and up into a downward dog. So here your knees can stay very generously bent, and you can find the edge that is appropriate for you in the stretch of the back of the legs. Once you're here, you can bend one knee a little bit more, and on the next portion of your breath, bend the other knee. Other option, if we're playing in our tabletops with the exhale, just hovering and back down, we can go into a puppy stretch, which means we stretch our arms out in front of us and our hearts fall towards the ground. So other option. All of us together, either from our downward dog or our table or puppy stretch, will come forward to a high plank, either on our knees or our feet, and then we'll, on our next exhale, hinge down to our mat. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, tuck the toes underneath and press up, either back into your puppy stretch or your downward dog. Roll forward into your plank or tabletop. You'll look between your hands, and you'll walk, step, or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, heart forward, collarbones broad. Exhale, let it all drop. Here again, you can keep your knees generously bent, together or apart, whichever your hips call for. Inhale, unravel vertebrae by vertebrae, and reach for the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. And down again. So we should all be in a standing position here. And I invite you to lift your toes, spread your toes out, and then feel the weight in the four corners of each feet. And bring your palms forward. And take a breath here, or two or three. But just paying attention to the whole contact of the foot with the ground. We'll inhale our arms up. We'll clasp them at the top. And on our exhale, we'll wave over to our right side, opening up the left side of the chest. Our hands or elbows intend into one, kind of as if we're in between two walls, front and back. Every inhale, you reach a little bit further, and your exhale, yielding to gravity. Your next inhale, come back to center. And we'll hover to the other side. Exhale, stretching this side of the body. Arms back up. And we'll bend at the knees and the hips. And we'll swan dive forward into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stack vertebrae by vertebrae into standing. Arms come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we'll hinge at the knees and the hips into a chair position. Inhale, we'll come up slightly. Tailbone goes down. Shoulders are broad and open. Exhale, just a little bit deeper into our chair. And we'll play here for about 3 more breaths. Inhale, you can come up just a little bit. Exhale to seated. Second time, inhale. Exhale to seated. Inhale, last time. And exhale, hinging completely at the hips. And knees are bent. Hands come and touch the ground. And feet step back to our high plank. Hips come back and up into a downward dog. Option again to do puppy stretch. Finding the option that is right for us. And then we'll all come into a high plank either on our knees or our feet. And we'll all exhale together. Down to our mat. Inhale, lift our hearts. And exhale, pressing up through our knees or our feet. Bring the knees nice and wide. And we'll bring our weight back into a wide-legged child's pose. Here, what I like to do, so if torso or head does not meet the ground, we can bring the ground to us with the pillow or the block and bring our head to the side. With every surface that we can also use our palms stacked just like that. Bring our head towards. If our forehead is touching a surface, what I like to do is wave my head side to side like a slow no to massage between our eyebrows. Give that a try. Come back to seated. And we'll bring our legs out in front of us. We'll bend at the knees. And slowly we'll come down to a lying down position. From here, on our exhale, we'll engage our glutes and press our hips to the sky. And every inhale, vertebrae by vertebrae will come back down. Once again, pressing glutes to sky. Inhale, vertebrae by vertebrae connects into the ground. Once again, exhale. And our hips come back down. And gently and slowly windshield wiper our knees side to side, coordinated with our breath. So every exhale, our knees come down to the mat. On every inhale, they reach through the center to transition to the other side. And then the exhale, they come down. Bring them back to center. You can stretch one leg out and then the other. If you need to sit up, and lying down is not what your body is calling for today, there is that option as well, to come back to a seated position. If you're comfortable lying down, go for it. You want to call out body parts to relax. You can cue and release tension in those that I call out. Toes, feet, ankles relaxed. Shin, calves, knees relaxed. Thighs, hips, pelvis relaxed. Low belly, low back, belly button relaxed. Chest, upper back relaxed. Shoulders, upper arms relaxed. Elbows, forearms, wrists relaxed. Hands, fingers relaxed. Neck, scalp, throat relaxed. Nose, mouth, ears relaxed. Forehead, eyebrows, eyes relaxed. Give a gentle wiggle to your fingers and your toes to bring your attention back into your body. You can bring your arms overhead, and you can stretch your feet away. Like the first stretch in the morning. And if you are lying down, you can bend at the knees and lay on your side using your bottom arm as a pillow. When you're ready, you can join those of us who are in a seated position. Together we'll bring our hands to heart center and we'll we'll rub them just to generate a little bit of heat. And if you think of a body part that you'd like to bring that heat to, like to bring a little bit more attention to, and then you can close your hands there. This concludes our practice for today. Thank you for allowing me to guide you with this time. And I hope you can bring this energy forward to the rest of your day.